Like, good morning, it's Thursday, it's SJU, it's the internet, I'm Joe, Dan, Roxy, Danielle. You know how I know it's Roxy? Because it's not Friday, and I'm like, whoa, what are you doing here? It's because her name's on her shirt. That's proof. Yeah. It's absolute proof. That is the real Roxy Striar. Danielle, not so sure about.
I'm one of those people.
I can be anyone right now.
Literally never seen you wear clothes with your names.
One day I will. Until then, everyone will just think I'm Ed, and that's fine.
If your name isn't on your shirt, are you even doing it right?
Nope.
Gosh. Whole company named after me. Thank you, Quicksilver.
I wish I'd worn my Dan's Lab shirt today. So Roxy and I would both have shirts with our names on them.
That'd be great.
That would have been awesome. I wish I had worn one of 10,000 Snoopy Joe Cool shirts I was given by my aunts and uncles as a child.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, they're all in a box. They're all somewhere, and they need to go to Goodwill, Mom and Dad. They need to go to Goodwill. We're talking. Netflix is continuing to make moves. They're buying a theater, and now they're starting their own publication. They're getting into the written word. We're going to talk about that a little bit, and then we're going to talk about my favorite story of the week, the Grease prequel. We're going to talk a little bit about the Grequel, so stay tuned for that. Let's jump into story number one first. Netflix is buying its own publication. This is via to her. As part of its awards media strategy, Netflix is launching its own publication to help promote its huge selection of content. So this will be similar to other publishing journals like Goop and A24. It will be tentatively titled Wide, which Danielle loves.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, explain giggle.
Is it for wide? It's just a weird name.
It is a weird name. Like I don't connect it to Netflix in any way, shape, or form. Like it should have been called Binge or.
Sounds dirty, Joe.
Sounds dirty, Joe. Thank you, Dan. I'm
does.
trying to find a way to PG-13 that
I
up.
kind of like it.
Why?
Well, mic drop, I guess. I didn't mean to shock everyone. Like wide release, it's not limited anymore. They're more seen. It's getting wider views. As I'm saying the word wide, it's setting in what you guys are feeling.
Sure.
So
I'm sure once we get used to it, we'll be fine.
You know what? We should start our own publishing company and call it Thick. With 2 C's.
No, absolutely.
We have a lot of content in our library. It's a very thick library.
It's a very thick library of content. I agree completely. Although, Roxy,
I kind of like that too.
I think you're on the money with why it's being called Wide, which is why I think it could also be called Spite, because it's literally Netflix being like, yeah, wide release, eat it, like.
Sure.
We heard y'all.
But I kind of like that. I mean, I'm sick and tired of people being like, this shouldn't be nominated for an Oscar, a.k.a.
Sure.
just Spielberg. Or people saying, you can't see it from everywhere. And is it good when you're looking on your phone or whatever? They're all valid points in some ways, but fine, wide. Let's widen it up.
They're solving it. Netflix is showing off that big stream energy, and I like it.
Wings.
So this is largely to promote its shows to mainly the 15,000 members of the Academy that are going to get this thing. Emmy deciders.
I already
Oscar
get Emmy
voters.
magazine, Joe.
Yeah,
Does that mean Wide is going to be?
Yeah, it's
going to
get
in the mailbox.
It's absolutely going to be added to the pile.
Okay.
Yep.
Which one are you going to read
reminder.
first?
Well, there's a wonderful cover story in Kit Harington in the latest issue.
Tell us about it.
Magazine. Seems like a nice guy.
He does. Hey guys, Kit Harington seems like a nice guy. Yes? No?
Yeah, his SNL was really funny.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I like his hair.
I was very uncomfortable for a little while around beardless Kit Harington on SNL.
His voice was what got me. I didn't realize that Jon Snow was such a deep timbre for him, and he's like, whoa!
Well, because as you know,
very normal.
Everyone was instructed to just do, and this isn't a joke, to just do Sean Bean.
Sean Bean,
Every single one of the Starks. And so when you hear them not doing Sean Bean, it's very weird.
Do you know where I learned that fact, Danielle? In Emmy magazine.
Will Wide have equally fascinating?
Just saying, they have competition in the magazine that I didn't ask for, but shows up in my mailbox space.
I also do think that it will have equal competition. I know that you're making a joke, but I think they will get bomb.com articles in there, because who's not going to want to be interviewed by Wide.
No, I agree. I
Netflix.
think these articles will range from bomb.com to rad.org. This is a part of Netflix. Netflix has an award strategist who is sort of pushing them in this direction because apparently they dropped a lot of money on Roma and they need to work a little smarter, not harder. So this is part of that new, maybe less fruitlessly expensive direction. The publication.
I wouldn't say fruitless. I mean, it won like.
Well, yes,
3
not
Oscars.
absolutely
It
fruitless.
didn't win Best Picture.
I'm being
but,
flippant, sir.
You know.
Because it wasn't the best picture.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Uh-oh.
I have a lot of controversial opinions today.
You know what? If you were not wearing a shirt with your name on it, that would make me be like, you are the real Roxy. Because you got takes. You got takes, and I love them. So the publication will offer access to some of the biggest stars on Netflix's docket, like Beyonce, who has an upcoming Netflix special. This works for them in terms of press because obviously they know Netflix is bringing them into their publication specifically to hawk Netflix stuff. They're not going to be looking for gotchas or anything. So this is a nice marriage of talent for Netflix.
Yeah, they might even get a quote from Beyonce, which is more than anyone ever gets.
Yeah,
She might actually answer the phone and say, this was like a good thing that I did in Coachella is great, and then hang up, and now they've got a Beyonce quote.
They do.
Yeah,
The ever elusive Beyonce quote.
and honestly, it is a smart pipeline for them to have. One issue magazines. One issue we always have with Netflix is like there's too much stuff. Like I had no idea Beyonce had a Netflix special coming because 80,000 other things dropped on Netflix and I drowned in them. A print publication is honestly like a smart solution for them. Like just, hey, here's some. It's like their own in-flight Southwest magazine of what you can watch on Netflix, interviews with the people behind it.
Sorry, I just think of Arrested Development every time I see an in-flight magazine and Jason Bateman doing this. That's from the later seasons, which means you probably don't.
No, I did watch it, but speaking of things you didn't know were coming out, who knew that the season of Arrested Development just dropped on Netflix like a couple weeks ago?
I watched one episode and that's it.
I binged the whole thing after somebody called and told me, but there was no
circumstance.
None.
Well, even the first season of Sabrina, I saw billboards and I saw ads, and someone had to remind me that season 2 had dropped.
I saw a billboard for whatever part 2. It's not season 2 now. It's like part 2.
Yeah, it's
They
like
advertise
season
them
1, part
movies.
2.
Yeah, or
I think.
whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's
how
so
you don't
weird
pay your
because
actors
like
more.
even around The Office, I feel like when the first part is all I heard about was Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah, we all talked about Sabrina a lot. Yeah.
Sabrina, and then I saw it was like, oh, it came out last week. Like I had literally not heard one word about a new season of Sabrina coming
I
out.
felt that way about the OA also. That came out
Yeah.
second season this week or
very
something.
quietly dropped.
What?
Now maybe with the help of Wide, people will know. People know as Sabrina came out. So again, this is on the heels of Netflix also buying the Egyptian theater to screen its own content on weekends, in addition to working with the nonprofit that already runs and programs events in the space. So what does this say about Netflix's strategy going forward? I know I make a lot of jokes about this being pure spite moves, but I mean, this is obviously them trying to play. Not just be a disruptor, but also sort of play ball within the system a little bit, it seems to be.
They're industry moves. Industry magazine, industry screenings. They're all Hollywood. They stop outside the Hollywood city limits.
Sure.
But that's again that shows you that they are. It smells like something an awards consultant would do, which is like, okay, we have to do all the things that everyone else does. So we're going to get you a magazine. We're going to get you a theater. We're going to do all the things, schmooze people, write an article, take some pictures, play the game, win a Golden Globe, etc. That's not the goal. That's just something you have to do in Hollywood.
Yeah, it's part of it. It's part of the
You
list.
win a
Kids'
Golden
Choice
Globe.
Award, Golden Globe. Yeah.
Get slimed.
I feel like this is not a money-making endeavor as much as it's just like we are going to be our own billboards. We're not going to be. We're not going to play by anybody else's rules, and we're not going to be held prisoner by anybody else who has any kind of idea or preconceived notion of what Netflix should or should not be allowed to do. So we don't need you guys. We don't need your form of marketing. We're going to make our own publication. We have our own theater.
Yeah.
We're now licensing all of our own shows, so we're not even continuing to pick up the Marvels of the world. Piss off. We're doing it all ourselves. And I think that it is pretty awesome and pretty kick butt. However, a little scary when companies start to get this massive and have such a monopoly on a certain space. Obviously, there's still Amazon and Hulu, but Netflix is like heading straight for take over the world territory, and it's great until it isn't. So I think right now we're still in good space, and I'm hoping that we stay there.
Well, they're definitely ramping up to compete.
Yes.
Because there's a storm coming. There's a storm coming, Ned.
Yeah.
With Disney Plus, with everything that DC is trying to do, CBS All Access. There's definitely a storm coming. And the interesting thing, to your point, to me, is they're saying, hey, we're not going to play by your own rules, but it's also a fascinating move of being like, we're going to take your system and use it to our advantage.
Well,
almost.
they were known until a couple years ago largely as a repository for other people's things that sometimes made their own things. You know, it was like, yeah, it's where I go to, it's where we sell our movies, and then they'll make a House of Cards or an Orange is the New Black or something every once in a while. And now the last 3-ish years, it's been, and now that everyone's going to pull their rights because they're doing their own thing, they have to be seen as a legitimate, original place, not, the place where I watch The Office. Like, no, they want to be known as the place that makes blank.
Yeah.
Oh, the Netflix is the place that makes this, not the place that has this. So this is them saying, we are our own thing. This is who we are. We are not somewhere that is just a place for other people's things. We're a place for our own things.
So I guess the big question is, Dana, do you think this pays off?
Obviously, this is a really smart move because, like you said, it's them basically saying we're not going to ask permission anymore. We're not going to beg like we did. You know, not that they begged, but it does kind of feel like they were really trying hard for legitimacy by asking other people to give it to them. And this is them saying, we don't need you to give it to us. We're taking it for ourselves. I think it does pay off. I think that they are very shrewdly, and again, not only doing their own advertising, but being able to make moves that say, oh, well, you say we have to be in a theater for X amount? Well, now we have a theater, so what you gonna do? You know, no one is going to lock us out of opportunities anymore because we are going to create them for ourselves.
Yeah. One of those opportunities that I realized after we went off air actually came true was yesterday I made a joke about them spitefully naming one of the screening rooms at the Egyptian after Steven Spielberg. There is a screening room at the Egyptian named after Steven Spielberg already, which I did not realize, and I love that.
That would be great.
I would double it down and just name it the Steven Spielberg TV movie screening room.
So good.
And the screen is just an iPhone.
And it's just an iPhone on a stand in front of a huge, yeah.
Oh boy. Netflix, what will they do next? Guys, if you enjoy SJU, if you're new, hey, welcome to the show. I feel like this is a little more serious and on track than we usually are.
I can help with that.
Yeah. Nailed it. Guys, if you enjoy the show, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to subscribe. Hit any number of bells that we never put it in the script what exactly you have to do to like, because YouTube changes it pretty regularly. So just hit bells. Just freely on the screen until you're getting notifications about the show. SJU's on every morning. We do a lot of other cool stuff on this channel. Panel to Screen, Evolution of, are two of the newer shows that we've been doing that we really, really dig. Fandom Uncovered. We recently covered the fandom of Twilight that is still alive and well once a year in Forks. It's a really, really cool piece that we're super proud of. You can get Charting with Dan every Monday, where he defends the world with justice and numbers. And we appreciate it. So yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. Yeah. That's it. That way you can find out on a daily basis where the office bathroom key situation stands. Otherwise...
where are we at now?
Oh, so
you
the
might not even
men
know.
have their bathroom on our floor. We still have to go up to the 3rd floor.
But our bathroom key is also missing apparently now, so...
Yeah, because they won't leave the bathroom unlocked, so we still have to get a key. But the key is now missing because someone took it. And considering that we are the only people working on this floor now, we're going to lock the doors. And no one's leaving until we find it.
Didn't we have like 5 keys for y'all?
We
did.
We did. And I think there's 5 of us, and so I think there's a problem. And I'd also like to add that this is a newly renovated bathroom, which is very nice. But if you're in the bathroom renovation business, I caution you against overly reflective black walls, because then no matter how much privacy paneling you're putting up around your urinals and your stalls, like, there's now just an infinity mirror around.
You know what's amazing? Every
urinal.
man in the room just now is like, yes, All right, we don't have that problem. One of the
There you
only
go.
problems
There is
that we
some
don't
classic
have.
SJU content for you right there that you can't get anywhere else. Like and subscribe. Hey guys, let's talk about the Grease Sequel. There is a Grease prequel being developed. This is also via to her. Paramount has put a Grease prequel in development. It's titled Summer Lovin'. It's being written by John August, who wrote Big Fish, which is my favorite Tim Burton movie. He also wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which is a lot of people's least favorite Tim Burton movie. He'll be writing. This story will detail the faithful summer that Danny and Sandy sing about in Summer Nights. First, let's just jump into this, because first of all, Summer Nights already gives us a pretty solid detailing of...
I never took... the repeated exhortations to tell me more, literally. I did not need them to tell me any more. You're right. The song Summer Nights summed it up fairly succinctly for me. I did not need to be told more.
No. Yeah. Guys, what information are you missing about the summer romance in Greece that you did not already get in the song?
Exactly how fast of a swimmer is Danny, since apparently that was an important part. Did he secretly learn how to swim, and was he a lifeguard? Why did both of them go on vacation and none of their friends were around, other than Sandy, who had just moved into town? Is there a T-Bird swimming outfit that we have not seen? Maybe a special waterproof jacket or a helmet?
What were the words of their true love vow?
True. Rox?
I don't like your guys' tone.
Are you pumped about this?
This movie is everything. I don't understand the backlash against this. This is why I am not meant for this planet. I love Grease. And I'm not saying you guys don't, because it seems like most diehard fans of Grease, like myself, even though the message is really crappy, are not into this. I want to know all of the things. They really fell in love. That's why they were able to ultimately build a relationship. So do I want to see a movie about them doing that in their summer vacay? Yeah, duh.
Will we finally see the planet Mustafar? These are the things I want to know in my Grease prequel.
What? You want to see... Wait.
Again with the tone.
I just got so much side eye from Rox.
You want to see the planet where Darth Vader got turned into Darth Vader?
Yeah, what did Sandy do there? I don't know, and I want to. I'm sorry, Roxy. I absolutely just put up a fight. And I shouldn't have. I should respect your feelings and your friendship more.
It got colder, that's where it ends. Okay?
So this is obviously Grease Live in 2016. It won 5 Emmys.
Yes, it did.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. And I like Grease 2. Grease 2 is one of my favorite movies. I think it's amazing, and we never got to see Michelle Pfeiffer sing enough. In anything.
Not a
after
big
that.
Grease 2 girl, I won't lie, but I respect that. I do respect it, though.
I appreciate that
twist.
Roxy respected the thing that I like way more than I respected the thing that she might be into.
Yeah.
That's called class.
I don't know though. Why? Maybe you guys can explain to me. Why are people so upset about this?
I'm not upset about it. I just I don't get it.
It just seems needless.
Yeah, I think for
What
most
does
of
it
us.
add to the, for me, what does it add to the mythos of the Grease universe that we don't already learn through a delightful song and dance number?
Yeah, it seems like there's not a lot of there, and then also it's got that problem of prequel casting, because people always, you have the people in your mind, and those are the people in your mind, and even though it's been a play, and we've seen lots of different, we've seen Rosie O'Donnell as Rizzo, for goodness sake, those are the people that you see, and so I do think you can run into that Solo problem where it's like, okay, he's a good actor, but he's not Han Solo for some people.
I feel like the great part about this is that Danny Zuko was not being Danny Zuko when he was there. That's the whole point. So we're not going to have that Han Solo issue where he's so iconic and you have to act the exact same way. This is Danny like macho-y. He's kind of a softie, so she falls for him. So we can go in a lot of different ways. I'll get back to you guys with some dream casting. I feel like I could cast this with any number of TV stars right now. There's so many like white, blonde, curly-haired chicks on television. So
that can jump in and do this and probably carry a tune.
I pick you know, just kind of like blindfold yourself.
It'll
and
be
point.
Betty from Riverdale. Let's just all be
I was
okay
thinking
with
about that, yeah.
I feel like I get Rox. There's more to see. I think, we don't understand a lot about the machinations of the beauty school order. We just know that someone dropped out of it, so we can see the younglings at the beauty school. We can explore that more.
Beauty school doesn't come till later, obviously, Joe. Obviously.
The obvious move on Grease to me is what happens after their car flies into the sky. Like, what happened after that?
Well, this is a prequel.
I know, but I want the sequel where they're in the sky. What happens?
It's a different movie, Joe.
Yeah, but that's the one I want to see.
Okay, well, you should write that.
Fine, I will.
Well,
And we did.
We did, didn't we?
We did. Yes,
They
we
burned
did a
up in the
whole
sun, I
animated
think.
show about it. They ended up dead in space with Matthew McConaughey floating by them yelling murder.
Now, see, I just assumed that they both held hands while the cops were going behind them, and they were like, we'll just never stop. And then that's the last that you get to see.
If you'd like to see our take on Grease 2 animated, you can't.
You cannot.
What happened?
Defy media happened.
It disappeared forever.
I remember that.
Yep.
So, but yes, we did write that, and it was okay.
What if we get some amazing songs? Are you guys more in?
Sure, I like songs.
I like music.
I like good songs.
I'm glad I sold you guys.
I'm a fan of music.
Oh, man, what if they do that thing where they get Lin-Manuel Miranda to do it just because he's popping, and it's all rap?
Mary Poppins.
I'm going to say that probably is what they'll do. I heard that. What if this isn't a musical? What would you do?
I mean, why would they do that?
Why would they do it at all, Rox? But
I
for
just
you, I understand.
explained
I know.
all the
Okay, that's fair. That's
reasons.
fair. That's fair. I give it to you.
I think that it has to be a musical. It would be very strange not to be. Because,
agree.
Because they're not with their friends, so they just don't sing.
Maybe that was confined just to that high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a high school where people sing. Maybe that's part of the musical where they're like, man, it's weird that I'm not singing all the time.
I don't feel good about this conversation, guys, and I don't feel like you guys are fully seeing where I'm coming from.
No, yeah, I do feel like I'm bullying you a little bit, and I apologize.
It's just, don't watch it then. Just don't watch
Okay.
it.
This is for you.
Well,
I understand.
They asked my opinion. I don't know. What am I supposed to do?
100%,
I'm
Dan.
not going to go out of my way, but if someone's like, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know.
It is my job to get this show to at least 30 minutes, Roxy. And if
kinda like-
making you feel bad is how I have to do it.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about this. I want one. I can't find one person to talk to about this. I have not found a single. So I was just hoping because
Now I'm sad.
Guys, if you could please at Roxy on Twitter if you are as excited about this as she is. If you aren't, maybe keep it to
Just
yourself.
keep it to yourself.
Now I feel like a butt because I didn't realize how lonely you feel.
this is a very lonely, dark place
You're
for
an
me.
SJU
the
dropout
prequel.
right now, and I'm sorry I put you here.
And Summer Lovin' is a great title too. I mean, I really
is.
do feel like they crawled inside my brain and decided to do this for me, and so I have to be the spokesperson. And if I have to be the one, then I'll do it. I'll be the one.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Guys, Roxy Striar, hell of a stronger person than I am. I think it just speaks to your character.
This is about strength. Mm-hmm.
But what kind of splashing around did Danny do when he showed up?
Dan, stop putting up a fight.
Well, you're gonna find out, Dan. And I know it's been burning in you. You gotta wait.
Oh,
though.
it's been burning in me, all right.
Yeah.
In a different way, though, I think.
Let's talk about something we can all get a little more on the same page on real quick, because I know that you guys are sort of stoked about some of the DC All Access stuff that's going on. I know you two are watching Doom Patrol
Yes.
right now,
For
really
real.
enjoying it. If people aren't watching it, sell us on Doom Patrol right now.
There is a gay street that teleports from place to place. They are genderqueer, and they are sentient,
Or a street.
and they are a street.
They
Okay.
are a street.
So-
and,
Okay, hang
and-
on. Old man here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that when you said a gay street, I thought you meant like Diagon Alley. Like there was a physical.
Yes.
It is a physical
That
street.
is
It's
what we
okay.
mean. That is exactly
I
what
want
we
to make
mean.
sure that street had not taken on a new meaning that I
No,
missed.
no, there is a gay.
Like there's a physical gay street.
Yeah, and their
Okay.
name is Danny.
Yeah, and
Okay.
And it is sentient.
And this is
They are
DC
sentient.
canon. We
Sure.
know Danny the Street, and Danny the Street communicates via marquee, and they emotionally got me shook. Like
They are a sweet, wholesome street that adopts all of the kindly misfits of the world and teaches them how to love themselves. And yeah, they speak via marquee. They might drop a banner that's like, "Hey, how's your day going?"
So it's like
They'll
Ghost
check in on
Rider
you.
on PBS when I was growing up.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But this is just one selling point. There's also a mineral man that has half of a dinosaur, and it's the
There's a robot dude.
Yeah,
There's
Okay.
Brendan Fraser.
Robot Man's always there though. These are other ones are just kind of one-offs sometimes. This show is whack in the best way possible.
Okay.
You have no idea what you're gonna get, but somehow you find yourself crying over like a mouse being in a brain, and
It's up there with me with Legends of Tomorrow as two of my favorite kind of DC TV shows right now, because both
Agreed.
of them, there are all of these parts of the DC and Vertigo and other things that people have always thought were unadaptable, and they embrace those parts with a big, huge hug, and they make them work and they make them happen, and they will throw anything against the wall, and it's so much fun.
So
And-
it seems like
Yes.
maybe this should have been the show that, because Titans was not necessarily universally well received. Like it seems like Doom Patrol is.
Titans is a much more anybody can watch show.
Okay.
Doom Patrol, you got to be a certain type. I'm glad they didn't launch with Doom Patrol because I think it would have turned a lot
Okay.
of people off
Yeah.
because it's
super
so
weird.
weird. But if you picture superheroes with the worst superpowers possible, things that you would never want to have, really they're super curses, that's what the show is.
Okay.
So the basic premise is like one of the girls basically turns into oatmeal when she gets stressed out. Her body just deteriorates and she turns into a blob on the ground. So things like that. They're not really, but they try to use them for good. So she uses that to maneuver herself into small places or whatever. So it's taking really horrible things that have happened to you and trying to make them into superpowers when they're actually super crippling.
This is an audible, by the way, JT. We are not going to be going back to Greece. So
Yeah, yeah.
we can just.
Dan, you don't know that. You
That's
never
well,
know
true.
that.
We all right. We
That's what
probably-
they said when they finished the movie.
That's true.
the
We're not
second
going back to this. And here we are.
And they didn't know
So-
2019 was coming.
So then the other thing was, so Titans is coming back for season 2. I know a lot of people did not love season 1, and hopefully, they're able to, like a lot of TV shows, able to sort of catch their stride in season 2. One of the things it seems like they're doing to catch their stride on season 2 is they have some very cool Bruce Wayne casting, which we thought was kind of rad.
Yeah, I was just breaking right as we were coming on the air, which is, I wish I always want to make up. I look up pronunciations because I hate when I get them wrong. But Ian Glenn, who plays Ser Jorah Mormont on Game of Thrones, was announced as he's been cast as Bruce Wayne. Now they're not saying whether he will be the Batman, but cast as Bruce Wayne in season 2, which I kind of dig.
I think he has to be the Batman based off the fact that we have in Titans established that he is
I
Batman.
said F Batman, yeah.
And we also have all the stuff that's going on with Dick and with actually both Robins. They've talked about like what Batman has done for their careers. So I think that unless he's retired since season 1, we probably will see, or we're doing flashbacks.
Yeah.
We'll probably see him in some kind of Batman light. Now that might be the back of his head, as that show tends to do. But
Yeah.
I think he's already doing the Batman thing.
If he is doing an older sort of retired, what does it all mean kind of Batman, like I don't think you can hire someone better to pull off broken, sad, and reflective
World
than Jorah.
weary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's a solid Batman, like old man Bat.
I've traversed Gotham to see you.
He's just so sad and weary. I think it's good casting. I think that was kind of cool news.
They're nailing it with their casting on straight up across the board on all of their shows right now. With Stargirl, with Swamp Thing, with the Harley animated series, and of course Titans and Doom Patrol. There's not one bit of casting that's come out for me at least that I've been like, nah, what are you doing there?
And of course, there's some other, on the other side of the playing field, Marvel and Disney keep announcing just slews of shows over there for their streaming. But Marvel was late on my Disney car payment this month, so I just wanted to give as much in retaliation.
This was going to be a Disney Plus story, but that's what happens.
We're not going to get to that part? Disney Plus?
No, not until they finish paying for my Camaro.
Of course.
Daddy need to go fast.
Daddy need to go real fast. Guys, Movie Fights Live today is going to be a pretty cool one. Coy Jandro's coming back. Botanicus himself, #Botanicus, Mike Carlson will be here. They will be fighting our own Danielle Radford. Returns to the ring, talking all things hell today on Movie Fights for Hellboy. There's only so many Hellboy questions you can ask, so today's episode is going to be more of like in honor of Hellboy, like who's the best devil in movies and stuff like that. So I think we'll be able to talk about some really cool movies, and then I think it's all devil questions in Greece.
So you're going to hell, literally.
Yeah.
I see what you just did, and I'm not going to respond to what you just said.
And I respect you because you are a better person than I am, Roxy Striar, at all times.
Direct provocation, Roxy.
And Rock's lightning over here. Guys, and then, of course, speaking of Hellboy, Sasha Raver talked to the cast. She took a lot of fan questions from the fan communities over from our friends at Fandom and from you guys. Check it out. It was a lot of fun. She got to chat with a lot of cool people. Take a look.
Okay, first question. Why is Hellboy not Hellman?
I loved the idea that he is Hellboy, and he never loses that. It never changes. So, in a way, I think there is especially in this film, he has an identity crisis. I mean, and he pushes back on his dad, who his dad wants him to be, his dad's own paradox of, like, loving him as a killer of his brothers and sisters. And I think as a boy, he's struggling to be a man, and he's not yet a man. And so, yes.
I think Hellboy just sounds better, first of all, and he enters this world as a boy. And one could argue that his development is a little bit crafted from the time that he was a boy because of his relationship with his surrogate dad.
Oh, he's got to be Hellboy. Hellman depicts another character. Hellboy depicts somebody who's still having fun with his life.
He's never felt love. He's never felt these feelings before. And then he meets my character, and she suddenly opens his eyes to like this future, and he doesn't know what to do with himself. And he's kind of like this kind of clumsy kid that is just trying to do his best, but everyone's scared of him, and he just can't win.
If you were Hellboy for a day, what would you do with that power?
Oh, I could do a lot of damage, like going shopping in Beverly Hills, right? Just like
Smash
scare
and grab
everybody.
job.
Yeah, exactly. Just like smash through the windows, and no one could do anything.
True.
Wow, well, I've met some people over the course of my lifetime who are from hell. So, I might try and right some wrongs.
Fantastic. Okay, which remake do you think has a better chance of getting off the ground as a sequel to this movie? Drag Me to Hellboy, Hellboy or High Water, or Hellboys Don't Cry?
I want to see Hellboys Don't Cry. That's the one I want to see.
Hellboys Don't Cry.
And what do you envision that film to be?
That would be him as a teenager. I never age anyway. He's the same age all the time. So David could play it at maybe a younger age of Hellboy's time.
A Star is Born in Hell.
I love it!
There you go.
That's fantastic. The musical numbers are going to be awesome. Bigger badass. Hellboy in the movie, or Ian McShane in real life?
Both have a lot of badassery, that's for sure. But I gotta say Hellboy. He's as badass as they come.
Ian McShane in real life, there's no question. There's no question, I'm sorry. That guy's so scary.
Oh, Hellboy. I'm a pussycat.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
You don't read as one,
Oh,
sir.
no, well, no, that's because of the parts I play. I have to be the same. No, no, just don't piss me off. I'm fine.
If there's a Hellboy, is there a Heaven Boy?
Is there a Heaven Boy? Oh man. I mean, I feel like there's a ton of heaven boys.
I want to see you battle them.
But there's really only one Hellboy. Yeah, I think they'd overwhelm him in numbers, but I think he'd stomp a bunch of them.
Totally.
Ugh.
So if there is a Hellboy, you probably have to believe that there is a heaven. So then there probably is a heaven girl.
Stop flirting with me, Daniel. Don't make it weird.
I don't know, but I want to meet Heaven Boy.
Well, Daniel said it might be Heaven Girl.
Well, what about Hell Girl?
I think that's you in this movie.
Well, kind of, but I'm like a woman. I'm not a girl.
You're Hell Woman.
Yes.
Okay.
Hell of a woman.
So true, girl. So true. What inspirations did you take from other sources to bring to this character?
Well, my dearest old friend in the business, John Herder, played the part before in the 2 Guillermo del Toro films. So I took it as a sign that it was, Johnny saying, carry on, buddy. I'll say, fine. I'll give it my twist on it.
There are elements of my character and also other characters who have something inside them that they're scared to show. That's not just through comic books, but also people. Like, it's easy to relate to Daimyo in that way.
For me, the Blood Queen, it was a bit more of like a world leader, like a strong woman that scares people. Because my character has this proposal that's like, I want people to live together, humans and monsters. I want this ideal society. And what did they do to her? They spear her through the heart, they cut off her head, and they bury her body in 1,000 pieces.
I mean, look, the inspiration directly is the comic, like the Dark Horse comic, even in terms of his body positions or like his jaw or certain things. Like a lot of inspiration was taken from those particular frames of the comic. And then the biggest inspiration for me was this idea of identity. He doesn't really understand his demonic language anymore, but he's stuck in this world where English is still the second language and human love is the second language. And so the inspiration became these people and sort of psychologically like how they deal with that thing of like losing their grounding of who they are. And I thought that was really fascinating.